want to ask the Minister the status of the implementation of the recommendations made in the report by his department's working programme on reducing the cost of motor insurance. The number of recommendations that have not been implemented to date, the reason for saying if he will make a statement on this matter.
Motor Group report was published in January 2017 and makes 33 recommendations with 71 associated actions to be carried out in agreed timeframes, which were set out in the action plan. In line with commitment to publish quarterly update reports on the implementation of the recommendations, the working group has published 4 update reports, and the last was the 20th of February of this year. This report shows that of the 46 separate deadlines set during 2017, within the action plan, 39 have now been met. Substantial work has been undertaken in respect of the 9 action points categorised as ongoing. In respect of the 7 actions which were not fully completed in 2017 as scheduled, 3 relate to legislation issues, while other requires further discussion and subsequent final agreement between Department and Insurance Ireland. Another outstanding action is contingent on the establishment of the new Office of the Legal Costs Adjudicators, which currently is expected to occur in July of 18. The remaining 2 actions both relate to Recommendation 26, which requires the approval of both the Minister for Justice and An Garda Síochána Commissioner for a potentially far-reaching cooperative mechanism between Insurance Ireland and An Garda Síochána to be formalised and is still under consideration. Significant progress has been made in respect of the implementation of all 7 of the aforementioned actions, most particularly regarding the establishment of a new National Claims Information Database. Overall, a considerable amount of work has been undertaken to address the issue of cost of insurance, motor insurance, by implementing the recommendations of the report. It should be noted that the average cost of motor insurance has been consistently falling since mid-2016, and I consider that the ongoing implementation of the motor report recommendation is contributing towards this trend. The most recent CSO data trend is that the reduction is 18.1% since July 2016.
Deputy Aylward for supplementary.
Thank you for your response, Minister. I don't think it can be understated how important the issue of the rising costs of motor insurance is. I am supportive of any measures brought forward which will help reduce the burden of the cost of motor insurance to our young people, our taxi drivers, our hauliers and all of those who work within industries affected by this issue. However, in my opinion, the measures brought into play by the government are not having an impact quickly enough. I don't say this lightly, Minister. I say it because I am hearing from the people on the ground on a regular basis. I'm hearing from our young people, as I said, our taxi drivers, our road haulers and many other sectors of society. They can become disillusioned when they learn their premiums have increased by 15% and no meaningful reason is being given for such a rise. Older people in particular who have never had a claim and never had penalty points on their licence are very aggrieved, and rightly so. I don't know where these figures are coming, Minister, from yourself about this reduction, because anyone I'm speaking to, they're all talking about their premiums going up. I have no one come to me and tell me that their premiums are going down on an annual basis. For over 12 months, Tree Fall has called for action on the rising cost of motor insurance. In 2014, motor insurance increased by an annual rate of 11.6%, while in 2015 it rose by almost 30%. In the 12 months since December 2016, private motor insurance increased by 12%. These are staggering figures.
We'll get back.
These are figures, Deputy. These are independent figures by the CSO. So they're not from the Department, they're not from Insurance Ireland, they're independently assessed by the CSO. Certainly, please don't mistake what you call the lack of speed, that we are not underestimating the importance of this. To put put on the floor to Dáil, the importance of this is there are 4 pieces of legislation from the Department of Finance. There are 3 pieces of legislation that have to be changed from the Department of Justice. There is also legislation to be changed from the Department of Business Enterprise and from Transport. There's a lot of work to be done, and on any occasion, any member of the House or committee or group is prepared to make time available for these legislative changes. Well, I'd be delighted to hear that, because we have 4, 7, 8, 9 pieces of legislation that will eventually have the overall impact with a cumulative effect of all of these changes that will have the impact, not just one or two.
Final supplementary.
I can talk about from experience, but SMEs, small medium enterprises, are saying that's killing them insurance, and it's increasing the whole time. So I don't know where these reductions that you have and these percentages you're talking, because it's not reality. And I just don't know a better example than in my own family, one of my own members of the family. A young fellow did a theory test, passed his theory, 12 lessons, and passed his test on the second. He actually failed the first time his testing. When he came in to get quotations, we're talking about thousands, where the insurance was actually costing more than a car. And then when his father and mother wanted him to put him on as a learner or as a driver, just to name on a name driver. Sorry, they were talking about 2,000 and 3,000. I even tried it in my own commercial vehicle at home, a farming vehicle at home, to ask him to put him on in my own insurance company. They spoke about €900 for 8 months. That kind of thing is extravagant, and no young person will ever get on this ladder of insurance unless we do something. And here is the only place we can do something about it to drive down the cost of insurance.
5 minutes.
To the younger drivers, Deputy, I have put on the floor of the House before that there is the opportunity for young drivers to take a device, the telematics, which is able to record the movements of the vehicles. To my disappointment, a huge number of young drivers will prefer to pay the extra amount rather than be on the system where their every movement is recorded in an appropriate way. I actually think it's the future that all young drivers should use these devices so that we're able to ensure that their driving practices, as they start off with good driving practices rather than bad driving practices. There are insurance companies. It's the cost of the device. The insurance will be halved for a young driver if they use this device, but there is very few people taking it up.
Thank you.